Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Watch Shudder. I'm your host, Michelle, and who's here with me?
That would be your other host, JD.
I have a co-host. I don't just run rampant on this show.
Right. I don't
Somebody
like
talk to my agent.
I don't know what it is about the word co-host that I don't like, so I just like to say other host.
Yeah, I didn't think I had called us hosts before, but it felt right today. So,
Okay.
Today is the day we become hosts of the
We're
show.
these people who are on the show. It's Michelle and JD. Well, this is surely an energetic opening. We're really selling
energetic.
podcast dollars here. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Michelle, what are we here to do?
We are here
Save
to
me.
have horrible days and then talk about horror.
Woohoo! I don't
What
know.
is-
My day ended up pretty all right. Got a real
I guess.
fucking monkey off my back. It was pretty great. These people don't need to know. It's fine.
No.
We had a rough day, but we got to end it by recording an awesome episode of an awesome show, which is We Watch Shudder. What are we talking about today,
We Watch
Michelle?
Shudder, JD? Well,
Look,
we
everybody
each
knows
had
at
questions.
this point.
Do they? Okay.
Let's
Last
just
time I
talk at
tried
the
to skip
same
over
time,
it.
and so let's just answer each other's questions here at the
I'm
same
gonna
time.
just keep asking you questions,
Right,
and you
so
keep asking me questions at
I
the
think
same
so.
time.
That would be the best way to go.
I
So
just
what
really
we
want
do
to know
here
about
on
your
We
dog.
Watch Shudder
Can you tell me some stuff
is
about
that
Riley, our
we watch
other
original and
co-host?
exclusive new releases from Shudder. Then sometimes they don't have new original or exclusive releases, and so we watch old original and exclusive releases. And that's what we're doing today. That was a whole weird thing we just did, but I feel like it's going to be a memory of show history at some point.
It absolutely will be. This will be a groundbreaking historical episode about Sweet Sweet Lonely Girl. And I don't know if that's true,
Sweet
but maybe if I
lonely
preface
girl.
it.
You ever heard that song? It's like, hey there, lonely girl, sweet, sweet, lonely girl. I don't remember who did
No.
that song, but
No. Well, everyone's gone. That's what we're looking for. I feel like we could have a really good drinking game for We Watch Shudder. One of them would be every time we say that the audience has clearly turned off the show. Every time I laugh, you will get fucked up immediately. Every time we say, oh man, we're in a weird mood today. Every
We're
time
always-
we shit talk Shudder.
we're always in a weird mood.
Oh, man. Well, let's get into it because I feel like this is not going to get better.
No, probably not. Sweet, sweet, lonely girl is the movie we're talking about today, guys.
It is.
This is a Shudder. Was it an original or an exclusive? I've got it right here in front of me. An exclusive release back in, looks like 2017. Michelle, are we doing the Shudder summary tonight?
No, because the Shudder summary is so long that I did not bother to read it. So we are
Not
going to
just
do
no,
the
but
very
hell
quick
no.
one. Yeah, absolutely.
So
not.
what's IMDb got to say?
IMDb has to say, soon after moving in with her aging Aunt Dora, Adele meets Beth, seductive and mysterious, who tests the limits of Adele's moral ground and sends her spiraling down a psychologically unstable and phantasmagoric path. A Shudder exclusive, Sweet Sweet Lonely Girl.
Before we go any further, you can pronounce phantasmagoric, but you can't pronounce Rue Morgue.
Rue Morgue? Yep. I will never live that down.
No, you won't.
Ever.
I was certain that you did it on purpose. Oh my God, that was beautiful. What episode was that on, Michelle? Let's send these people to go check it
That
out.
was the Woodlands Days Bewitched Gone.
Woodlands Dark
the
and Days
three-
Bewitched. Yeah. Definitely go check out that episode for Michelle's most embarrassing moment. Okay, anyway, so that's Sweet. So maybe that gives you an idea of how much I want to talk about Sweet, Sweet Lonely Girl. Spoiler-free thoughts. I'm just diving right in here, Michelle. This one just did not do it for me. It's only 76 minutes long, and it lost me twice. I guess if this is your kind of thing, I guess I got nothing against that. I just can't imagine the kind of person where this would be your kind of thing. But I also don't have anything outright against it. It's just not interesting to me at all. I'm gonna give this one, just because I'm feeling generous and stress free today. 2 skulls.
2 from JD.
2.
I think this movie set up how weird our feelings were going to be when this episode started, because we started recording and I went, dear God, I hope he does not ask me anything about this movie, because I watched it just a couple hours ago, and not only did I watch it once, I watched the last 30 minutes like 4 times, because I was like, am I missing something?
Nope.
Or is this what it is? And I needed to be sure, because if I don't like a movie, I want to make sure that it's not me just completely missing the point. I understand what they were going for. I understand why the story did what it did. I understand it. I am pretty sure I understand. I think a lot of the questions I have about how this actually played out, I think that if I asked the director, they would have same writer and same director.
Yep.
I think if I asked them questions, they would be able to tell me the answers. And I don't know if they would say that they put them into this film, but I feel like they had a plan, and it either was overlooked in this film or not in this film. So unfortunately, there are some things that it didn't work for me, and I feel like upset when I don't like a movie, because I'm like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right. Yeah.
But,
I don't want to.
I'm
sure there are
disappointed
people somewhere who really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I understand that it's very reminiscent of 70s horror, and for that I can give it a little bit of a higher score than I felt like I would. I thought it was very fitting homage to what it was trying to do, but my original score was going to be even lower. I'm going with a 1.5. I'm so sorry.
1.5 for Michelle, 2.0 for JD. That's 1.75 average.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's I mean, don't be sorry, Michelle. We gotta be honest, right? I mean, you can be honest about your reaction without being a jerkwad. Yeah, so that's Sweet Sweet Lonely Girl. If some of you are maybe saying, God, I gotta go see what inspired such tepid reaction from these two. On the plus side, as I always say, it's only 76 minutes long. Here's the thing you're never going to hear me say again. This movie could have been longer. Because I agree with you. It feels like they left about a third of this movie on the cutting room floor.
Yep.
But yeah, if you want to go check it out before we get into the spoiler section, you probably want to hit that pause button right about now. Michelle, are you doing the summary this week, or am I? We didn't plan ahead. Help me out here. You decide.
I will go back to doing the summary. I love doing the summary. I don't mind. I even recapped on what the story was via the plot that I found via Google, just to make sure, because I feel like I forgot so many things. And yet my summary will be basically exactly what I remember from this film.
All right, you summarize. Yeah. I'm going to drink some orange strawberry banana juice.
Oh, delicious. Holy shit. I didn't realize we were busting out oh man, you got to share that. I'm so old that it's 11 o'clock on a Friday. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, fruit juice. Give me that. No alcohol necessary. Let's party. Okay. Anyway, the plot of this movie, Sweet Sweet Lonely Girl. The Sweet Lonely Girl. Fuck you. The sweet lonely girl in question. Her name is Adele, and she goes to live with her aunt Dora. And Dora's very old and agoraphobic, and she stays in her room and needs somebody to give her food and things. And she only communicates by slipping notes underneath the door. And Adele meets Beth, and Beth is outgoing, and Beth is also a bad influence and encourages her to get generic brand heart medicine instead of her aunt's prescription. Adele starts stealing money from her aunt, and eventually this leads to her aunt's death. And that's when it finally gets into some stuff. And I guess basically Beth takes Adele's youth, and now she's young. And then Adele is left in the house that her aunt lived in, and she locked herself in that room because she's old now, and now somebody came to take care of her, and it's probably going to happen to them. The end.
Okay, so you read this as if she went from being like normal, super young Adele to old in the rocking chair Adele, like overnight.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused.
Okay, no. See, this is where that is I can definitely don't you understand who that girl was who came in to talk to her at the very end of the movie? She came in and said her name was Dory. That was the name of the baby.
What baby?
You remember at the very beginning of the movie, Adele's mom is pregnant. Adele's mom who sends her to... She said she was going to name the baby after Dora, and she was going to name it Dory. And then that grown-up girl walks in, and her name is Dory. And so the idea is that she's just been, I don't know, terrified into being an agoraphobe. Just the same. I think the idea is that Beth is some kind of weird ghost, demon, spirit thing, and she just scared Dora, because you see Beth in the picture with Dora at the end there, and I haven't bothered to go back and see if it was actually Beth in the picture the first time we see it earlier in the movie, because honestly I don't care. But I think the idea is just that Beth is this weird creaturey thing who scares people into being agoraphobic for some reason. And she did it to Dora, and then she did it to Adele. And the idea, I think, is that just, after Dora died, Adele just went nuts and stayed in that room forever.
So the passage of time, I understand what you're saying, and I can totally see that now. Uh-huh. But then why did whatever Beth did cause her to suddenly become young? I assumed she was stealing the youth from Adele.
What are you talking about, Beth suddenly becoming young?
Beth goes down into the basement to chase Adele.
Uh-huh.
As like that crazy, scary figure. And
no,
then
didn't you see what was happening there? Is it was an
no.
the old lady, that wasn't Beth. I'm pretty sure what this was an overlap of Beth and the ghost of Dora.
Oh my god.
I know.
I don't see it at all, though. Why would the ghost of Dora go downstairs and then suddenly be replaced by Beth?
She wasn't replaced. I think they were overlapping, is what I'm saying. I think they were both there at the same time.
So Beth was wearing the ghost.
No, I don't think they're connected in any way. I think they just were both there at the same time and are both parts of Adele's fragmented, going insane perspective and observation. That's the impression I got, is that she was basically being berated by this weird Beth agoraphobia demon and the ghost of Dora at the same time.
I watched
maybe
that
I'm wrong.
So many times.
Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I think ultimately we're getting to the point that I made initially, which is this movie is clearly not fucking long enough. There needed to be more here. Like it's just shit just happens, and there's no it's not even like there's no even attempt at explanation, right? And I know some people are going to be like, oh, well, so what? Sometimes that's just the way stories happen. Well, we've well established that I have no interest in a movie that's just supposed to be felt and not thought. I can't do that. I'm not interested in doing that. And I think we're seeing here exactly what I'm getting. This movie needed more details. I needed to know more of what was happening.
Yeah. And I was so sure I had finally figured out what the fuck was happening, because I was like, oh, she goes down there, she steals the youth, and like now I understand the passage of time and how wrong that was, and I completely forgot the beginning of the film because it felt, despite being 76 minutes, it felt like it was much, much longer. So I completely forgot all of that information. I was just like, okay, now she has a caregiver, but she's suddenly old overnight. And I was like, that's weird. But then if the thing is just that like Beth just does that, then what was the point? Why Beth? Why did she do this weird demon shit then?
Yeah,
I have so many questions.
It's just also, and I am going to point out that there are part of what I found disappointing about this movie is I thought some of the few horror moments that they went with were pretty fucking cool. That one moment where Beth and Adele are peeking under Dora's door, and just out of nowhere there's her creepy old lady face and it's tilted on the side and she's screaming at him. I thought that was great. It was really well done. Excellent horror effect. At the end, when the old creepy one is coming towards her and she's looking up above the bed and you see her face and everything, and then she looks down underneath the bed and there's like no legs. It's just a floating dress.
I love a floating figure.
Yeah, I thought
remove
that
their
was
legs
all really
and I'm
effective.
happy. Yeah,
it's just everything that
was
led up
such a
to
good
those
shot.
moments
Yeah.
was it didn't work for me. And then she just screams at the end, and now she's scary. I don't know, man. It just and also like everything building up to it, like I'm probably the last person who should be trying to make that, but like this felt like real male gazy exploitative example of same-sex attraction and potential relationship. I don't know. The movie was written and directed by a dude who's from Argentina. I don't know anything about his background, so maybe he's, I don't know. But it just watching it, like they have that scene at the beginning where her mom's, I'm assuming stepdad or maybe her actual dad or like her mom's boyfriend, I don't know. But he's like all creeping on her while she's in the bathroom in her underwear. But then like multiple times later on in the movie, the girl is just like there in her underwear and we're kind of like, oh, she's scrubbing out the bathtub and we're watching her from the hallway, like through the doorway, like real creepy shit. And a lot of that just, I don't know, it made me feel a little uncomfortable. I thought it very much felt like, oh, check it out, these girls are gonna kiss each other. That didn't work for me at all. I thought it seemed really exploitative and kind of annoying.
I'm annoyed that we had entirely different reactions to what the fuck we thought this movie was about, and somebody is going to get in the comments and yell at one of us because they side with the other one entirely. And now I'm just like, I am curious if there are more interpretations, but either way,
sure.
Both of our endings, I have a lot of questions.
I can tell you this much: I don't care enough to ever go back and watch it again to find out.
I tried rewatching like a lot of it several times, certain moments, and that's why I was so sure I had figured it out. Like, oh, okay, like that pivotal moment in the basement. Got it. Beth is stealing her youth, and now she's old overnight. And then the reason I thought that, and I kind of wish they had gone this direction because I was like, yes, okay, I get it now, is that I thought that's why when the aunt was locked in the room and communicating via notes, it's because, for one, she's really old now and can't explain it, and she can't speak because they would detect that her voice sounds older, so she had to slip notes under the door. So it's like, okay, she doesn't want anybody to see her as this now. But if time just passed, like...
Yeah. Who
was the
is
point?
Beth and what is she doing? Why was she young when Dora was young? Why is she young now? She talks about that like when they first meet in that cafe and she pays for Adele's bagel or whatever with the cream cheese. Like they have that thing where she talks about how like, oh, these people back in the day, they used to just like dress up in costumes and dance around and make play acting for each other and all this stuff. And I feel like that's probably tied into this somehow. But again, if you feel like you put enough in here for us to understand what's going on, you are wrong. If you know you didn't and that was the point, well, I guess you succeeded, but I don't care. Are you still there, Michelle?
Yeah, I'm just pondering. I know. I was like, I was lost in my thoughts of like, how did this happen?
Here's something I want to do because I do, again, like, one thing I do want to say that like the movie is well made, right? Obviously, everybody who was involved was trying really hard. I don't think obviously nobody ever sets out to make a shitty movie, right? And I wouldn't even say this is a shitty movie. And again, everybody worked real hard, and it's a quality production. It's really well put together. And I just happened to be scrolling through the IMDb page here, and we had talked about how I'm sure there are people out there who love this movie. And as it turns out, the first user review available here is a 10 out of 10. And I'm just going to go ahead and read this person's comments for people who might want a second opinion on this. What do you think about that?
I love that. I think if we completely hate a movie going forward, we need to read a comment from somebody who loved it, and then we can talk about whether we
for sure. So I'm even going to say this was written by somebody whose screen name is Juan Muscle. Juanmuscle, Juan Muscle, back on July 5th, 2018. The title is WTF. That's what the fuck. We can say that on this podcast.
What?
WTF in an awesome way. I can't really comment on this movie, let alone give my review, because I don't know WTF I just saw. All I know is it was really darkling loveliness, very much so. Totally well written, even though I have no idea WTF. I can definitely say one thing. A.D. Calvo, this is his last film on his list of films, but my first of his to see. I came here because this is terrific. Actress Quinn Shepard fell in love with the sweetness of an angel named Erin Wilhelmi in all her creepy, lovely, melancholic adorableness. Just have to see it to actually believe this ending. What a ride. Hella awesome. It's occurring to me as I'm reading this that this might have been translated poorly from another language. I mean, H.P. Lovecraft can't compose something this awfully creepy, but yet so cute all at the same time. I think this is a good idea going forward on the podcast. We should probably plan ahead and prepare next time. But this is clearly a rave review. It just didn't hit me until I was about halfway through it that this is clearly poorly translated from some other language. It was when I hit the word thespian. It was like, that's definitely a bad Google Translate. But yeah,
I use the word thespian all the time. I want to say what Juan seems to really enjoy about this movie is the thing that you and I tend to disagree on about whether it's important, but it sounds like Juan also did not understand the ending, but just liked watching it happen. And you and I have talked where for you that is basically a deal breaker.
Yeah,
like,
that's not my it's not my flavor. You know, it's like, you know, I don't like I don't like guacamole, but that doesn't mean nobody can like guacamole.
Great. Oh my God, I could go for some guac right now. Guac me up. Give me some guac and some strawberry banana juice.
Right.
Can go to the grocery store.
Orange strawberry banana, Michelle.
Man, I'm gonna get crazy tonight. That and my avocados, I'll never be able to own property.
When I'm done here, I'm gonna go have a big old bowl of macaroni and cheese, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Do you know the avocado is going extinct?
Well, I mean, do you know that everything on Earth is technically going extinct?
Yeah. Did you know the
You see how quickly we fell off talking about this movie already, guys?
Hang on. I have a really good fun fact, though.
Okay.
Speaking of extinct, the artificial banana flavoring, you know how you have something that's banana flavored and it never actually tastes like bananas and you're like, what the fuck is this? It's because that specific type of banana, that artificial banana flavoring was based off of, has gone extinct. So we've never tasted a banana that sweet because it stopped being a thing a long time ago, but that's still what we consider our artificial banana flavor because it tastes better than bland bananas do. Blandanas.
That's weird. Did you know that vanilla flavoring comes from beaver butts?
Did you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man. God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, we immediately fell off the rails.
Yeah, so Sweet Sweet Lonely Girl, that's a movie that we watched. You might like, again, if you're the kind of person who has no problem at all with, we bumped into this same situation with movies like Skinamarink and The Outwaters, right? It's just, I myself am very much a plot-driven person, and I don't need all of the gaps filled in, but I can't deal with none of the gaps being filled in. And if that's your thing, that's also why I didn't want to go like if we were talking about my pure experience, my experience with this movie was a 0. I got nothing out of it, but that's not the movie's fault. And so that's why I wanted to go with at least, something relatively, I don't want to say, I'm not going to say it's a shit movie, but this one is... Man, I was bored.
Yeah. I do disagree with your statement that this movie was like Skinamarink or The Outwaters because unlike you, I really fucking love The Outwaters. And Skinamarink, I have very passionate thoughts about that it was not as bad as people think.
Well, again, I want to point out that I don't think ever said that they were bad movies. I have just said that,
Okay.
Oh, man.
You disliked their lack of narrative while I enjoyed it. Is that better?
It's I'm trying. I'm just trying to be a better man every day, Michelle. I'm trying to eliminate the negative, critical thoughts from my head.
I am not trying to be a better man. I am trying to be a better woman. But wouldn't it be great if we're on just like, I'm trying to be a better man? Then who?
That was
than
Sweet,
you.
Sweet Lonely Girl. What are we doing next week, Michelle?
Hopefully showing up to this podcast prepared and excited for once in our goddamn lives. Next week, a week from now, is my fucking birthday, and we get to watch a movie called Quicksand, and
Ooh.
I will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, potentially drunk in a hotel room when we record.
Well, that's it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Quicksand. What's Quicksand about? Do we want to find out, or do we want to just wait and see what
quicksand.
happens? What?
It's about quicksand. It's literally
okay.
about quicksand. It's not a
Cool.
metaphorical thing. It is literally quicksand.
It's about quicksand. I like it.
Which is so fun to say. Just say it once.
Quicksand.
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 It's a good word, so I'm looking forward to that, just so that I can say the word quicksand. Repeatedly. That's gonna be a 5-skull movie just for the name alone. Quicksand.
It's a 5-skull title for sure. Quicksand.
Yeah, 5-skull title for sure.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's at We Watch Shudder on all of those. Check out our website, wewatchshudder.com. With a schedule of upcoming episodes, some special galleries of movies that we've each given 5 skulls, as well as movies we've both given 5 skulls. Go back and check out last week's double 5-skull movie, Brooklyn 45. If you haven't seen that yet, holy shit, what a great fucking movie that was. If you want us to review something on one of these archive episodes when there's not a new release, shoot us a message on any of them socials or at mail@wewatchshudder.com. and we will happily do our best to fulfill your request. That was a weird rhyme, and with that in mind, I'm going to let you talk now, Michelle. Say something to wrap this up like a professional.
If this was your first episode, we're sorry. Please give us a second chance. Also, drink every time I apologize to the audience because I think we're awful at this. They are going to be so messed up by the end of this. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. We try not to be dicks when we don't like a movie. Sometimes we just don't like a thing. But obviously, I think that every movie out there, even if it is utter garbage, somebody likes it, or else it would not be out there. You know?
I agree.
Like, I would hope somebody who created the film liked it. Like,
we're just
The
a couple
Room.
of dimps with opinions just like you guys.
Exactly. So I have to add this caveat because we have had some of the filmmakers actually listening to our episodes about their stuff, and now I'm very self-conscious about it.
Don't brag,
So I'm
Michelle.
sorry.
Don't brag.
It's not a brag. It's a, oh God, I would like to go back to the shadows, please, where I could make very funny quips about things and not have to feel repercussions.
As long as we're talking about it, I would like to throw in the caveat that some of the earlier episodes of this show, we were on occasion, especially me, not necessarily the friendliest. But as I said, I'm trying to be a better man. The only one I don't regret is the scary
funny.
61st. I'm totally fine even to this day with the way I talked about that movie. I have moral and ethical objections to that movie on a personal level. Let's not make this about that movie.
No. Well, that's all I got.
Got anything else?
No, I'm ready to go get some avocado and a fuck ton of juice.
Right on. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle.